Dear friends, Namaste, and that's RAMNEEK WIG in front of you. Friends, today here I shall be telling you about the healing powers of Pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Now friends, let me tell you here that I myself suffered from cancer 3 times. I was a practicing lawyer when I was diagnosed with cancer in the year 1998. At that time, the cure rate was 90%. It was stage 2B of cancer. It was Hodgkin's lymphoma. Now friends, at that time, when they told me the cure rate is 90%, I was really elated that fine, I would be cured fast. So friends, I'm talking about the year 1998 end. I had my chemotherapies done in Delhi in the year 1999. After the chemotherapies, the tests were done, and according to the test, I was cancer free. So there was no cancer in my body. So friends, I got back to my law practice once the tests were okay. After a couple of months of my law practice, I again noticed some swelling in my right armpit region right here, and in the right region of my neck. So friends, we again went back to the oncologist, and the oncologist said to go for a gallium scan. Now, during 1999, gallium scan was the main scan which was done to find whether any activity is present in the body or not. So according to the scans, the cancer had come back, and this time it was very aggressive. That means it had gone down right across from my chest all the way to my abdominal region. The doctors in Delhi, they told my parents that your son should get a bone marrow transplant done because probably the chemotherapies are not working on him. So friends, I went with my parents to the United States to the center called as UCI Medical Center, University of California Irvine Medical Center, which is close to Los Angeles. It's in Orange County. So friends, I got my bone marrow transplant done in the year 2000 at UCI Medical Center. This was followed by 25 sittings of radiotherapy. Now after this entire treatment plan, the doctors over there, they got my test done, and according to the test, I was absolutely normal. So there was a feeling of elation and happiness at my home that now I'm perfectly normal, the transplant has been done, and I'm doing good now. The doctors over there, they congratulated me saying, Mr. Wig, now you're perfectly healthy and you can get back to your normal life. So friends, after that, I came down back to India in the year 2000 and again got back to my law practice. Now 2001 and 2 were good with me, there was no problem. 2003, a strange thing happened with me. When I used to go to the courts, my friends pointed out to me that, hey RAMNEEK, your shirt seems to be getting a little bit yellow on the upper side. So I noticed that the region right here, from where the initial tumor had been taken out way back in 1998, that area had initially healed, but now it seemed as if that area was opening up a little bit. And because of that, a lot of pus was coming out from this region, and that is the reason my white shirt was getting yellow a little bit here. So friends, I at once got concerned, and you know, as all parents are, my mother was very concerned. She wanted me to go to the oncologist straight away. So we went back to the oncologist, and the oncologist said that it seems to be an infection because of which this mucus is coming out. So the oncologist put me on to some antibiotic. But since it was not an infection, the quantity of pus kept on increasing. Again, we went back to the doctor, and the doctor this time told me to get an ESR done. This is a blood test. Now, when we got the ESR done, the ESR was quite high. So the doctor concluded that it seems to be tuberculosis, because many times people do get tuberculosis after cancer. So he put me on to some anti-tubercular drugs. Now, since this was not tuberculosis, what happened is the quantity of pus kept on increasing as the days progressed. Ultimately, a lot of tumors also came all across my back region. It became rather difficult for me to sleep even at night because of a lot of tumors in that back region. Even the quantity of pus from this area kept on increasing as the days progressed. At times I could even notice as if this collarbone over here is melting, because I used to press my hand like here and it seemed as if the bone is also melting. Ultimately, one fine day, this collarbone here also broke down. Now friends, you can see right here, this is a new collarbone what I have here. This is a brand new collarbone. This area is a new collarbone, and this region just below here, this entire area just melted away. The situation became so bad that you could put in a pen from here and take it out from here, because even here, just below my armpit, a huge cut came up. So this whole area got interconnected. It became so bad that you could put in a pen from here and just take it out from here. So this whole area was all hollow. This you can see, this is a new collarbone, friends, here. Ultimately, all across my back, many tumors came across. I had to sleep on an airbag because it used to hurt a lot. Ultimately, the doctors in India, they gave up. They told my parents, yes, we've gone wrong. This was not tuberculosis. This is cancer, which even came back after the transplant. So they told my parents that this is the last stage of cancer, because about a half a glass of pus is coming out from here, and they're all tumors all across the back. There's no collarbone. They told my parents that your son RAMNEEK just has about 1 month to go, and this is the last stage of cancer. Some of them even told my parents to click a photograph of mine, which would be helpful in performing the last spiritual rites, which is the Chautha, once I'm gone. So the situation was pretty serious. But friends, let me tell you here that I never gave up. I've had full faith in God, and my parents have always been with me. I've always believed in a concept, in an attitude, which is never to give up, no matter what the circumstances are. So friends, we again checked up at the same hospital called USC Medical Center. Now this was a new hospital as compared to UCI. This was another hospital in Los Angeles. My aunt, who is a US citizen, she was doing all the homework for us, checking up at different hospitals in the United States. So she checked up in this hospital called University of Southern California, Los Angeles Medical Center, whether they could do anything for me, because the doctors in India had already given up. They had told that I maximum have 1 month to go. The doctors in USC, after seeing my report, because we faxed them all the reports, they said that we could do some research treatment onto Mr. RAMNEEK WIG, and with that treatment he might get a life of 4 to 6 months. We'll try to knock down the cancer cells, but we are sure they would again come back, because this is not a foolproof treatment. The full proof is a bone marrow transplant once again. But since RAMNEEK is very weak right now and there's so much of pus is coming out, he cannot take in the stress of a transplant. He shall not be able to survive a transplant. That is the reason we cannot do a bone marrow transplant onto him. We can give him some research treatment because of which he could live for about 4 to 6 months of life. We'll try to knock down the cancer cells, but they would definitely come back in 4 to 6 months. So this is kind of a stopgap arrangement to give him a life of about 4 to 6 months. So, as we got some ray of hope from my aunt and from the doctors in the US, we grabbed onto that opportunity. That even if I get 4 to 6 months of life, that is good. So friends, I with my parents, we caught the next week flight to Los Angeles, United States. Now as I reached US, my aunt was already there with the ambulance of USC Medical Center waiting at Los Angeles International Airport for me. The ambulance drove me down to the hospital and the doctor was quite surprised to see me. I remember the doctor telling me, "Mr. Wig, I've never seen such a case in my life. I can put my hand from here, take it out from here, you're all hollow. And how come you reached the US?" I said, "Doctor, since we got some ray of hope, that is the reason we are here." Now the doctor again reiterated the same thing, that Mr. Wig, I'll try to give you some research treatment which might give you a life of about 4 to 6 months, but there is no cure rate. The cancer cells would definitely come back within the next 4 to 6 months. Now since we'd already come to the United States, we said, "Doctor, do whatever you can." So the doctor straight away admitted me to the hospital, and from next morning the treatment started. Now friends, after about 15 days of treatment, I felt better. I felt as if the nodes are shrinking behind my back. I could sleep better. And the pus from here which was coming out consistently, this area, this started lessening. So the pus started lessening. Even my diet started improving after about 20-25 days. So friends, with each round of chemotherapy, I felt better and better. Ultimately, I was in the United States for about 2 months. This is I'm talking about the year 2004, about March. This is the time I'm talking about. Now after this treatment, the doctor said that yes, Mr. Wig, I have tried to knock down the cancer cells, but according to us, they would definitely come back within the next 4 to 6 months. So go to Europe, enjoy yourself, but definitely go down to India and make your will, because you do not have more than 4 to 6 months. Now hearing this, my mom, she really started crying. She told the doctor, you've spent a bracket, we've sold our properties, we've spent a packet coming to the US, and now also you're just giving my son 4 to 6 months of life. But doctor said, this is all what we can do. We've done the best what is in our hand. Because we are sure the cancer would come back within the next 4 to 6 months. Now, hearing this, we came down to India. Now, coming down back to India, I thought that I decided to do something different now. I thought to myself that there is no point in practicing law because doctors have anyway just given me 4 to 6 months, and that's also on the outer side. So friends, this was the turning point of my life as I got down back to India. Now friends, there's a very important thing what I want to share here. That when I used to practice law, I had done a 1-year course called Diploma in Yoga and Naturopathy from a university in Delhi. And I had come first there. And they had also given me a gold medal for outstanding that I had come first. For that outstanding work, they had given me a gold medal. But since I had never had the time to implement that knowledge of pranayama, food therapy and meditation onto myself, I was always very busy in practicing law because I never had the time to implement that knowledge of pranayama, food therapy and meditation, what I had learned in the course. But now, since the doctors had just given me about 4 to 6 months to live, I decided to implement that knowledge of pranayama, food therapy and meditation onto myself. So friends, I made a set of 15 pranayamas for myself and started practicing them every day, 1 hour morning, 1 hour evening. And I also started getting very cautious of my eating habits. Since we had learned in our course that whatever food you eat is either good or bad for your system. So I started eating those foodstuffs which were good for my system, which had a high antioxidant value, that means a high ORAC value. I also decided to spend about half an hour on meditation every day. Soon time passed by and I went back to the doctor to the US after 6 months. Now this was for a follow-up. Doctor was quite surprised to see me. He said, "Mr. Wig, you're still there. Have you been up to something?" I said, "Doctor, I am just doing my pranayama and food therapy and I give some time to meditation." Doctor got my lung functioning test done and he was quite surprised to see that the right lung, which was just working 20% because of the fibroids which were present, now was working a full 100%. And he also got my CT scans done and he saw that there was no cancer present in me. Doctor was quite surprised. He said, "Mr. Wig, whatever you've been doing seems to be working great on you because the cancer is not back. And we were sure that it would be back, but because of your pranayama, food therapy and meditation, the cancer is not back till yet. So Mr. Wig, whatever you've been doing, keep on continuing with that and come to me after 6 months." So friends, I got down back to India and again went back to him after 6 months and the cancer was still not back. He got all the tests done and the cancer was still not back. Now friends, now it's been over 12 years. The cancer never came back. I kept on going to the doctor to the US every 6 months for about 8 and 9 years. But the cancer never came back. And I owe my good health, first of all, to Almighty God. Second of all, to my parents who've always been there with me. And third, to pranayama, food therapy and meditation, which have helped me a lot. Now friend, let me tell you about the courses which I conduct. I conduct these 5 courses. I've been taking these courses since the year 2005. All these courses are personalized. That means they are done one-to-one. The first course which I conduct is called a disease-specific course on pranayama and food therapy. This is for those people who are suffering from any ailment. This course has got in all 11 classes. There are 7 classes on pranayama, 4 on food therapy. The second course which I conduct is called the basic course on pranayama and food therapy. And this course has got 9 classes. There are 6 classes on pranayama, 3 on food therapy. The third is called the advanced course on pranayama and food therapy. In this courses, friends, there are 7 classes on pranayama, 2 on food therapy. The fourth course which I conduct, friends, is a basic course on meditation. And this course has got 6 classes in all. And the fifth course which I conduct, friends, that is a teacher's training course on pranayama, food therapy and meditation, which has got 30 classes. There are 16 classes on pranayama, 7 on food therapy and 7 on meditation. Now friends, all these courses are conducted personally by me, and all of these courses are personalized. That means they are one-to-one. All these courses are conducted by me at my centers at GK2 and GK1 New Delhi. And they're also conducted over the Skype. So friends, if you're interested in doing any of these courses, you can directly get in touch with me. My personal cell number is 099101 and my email is yogaenjoyment@gmail.com. Friends, my website is www.ramneekwig.com. I'll spell it out for you. It is www.ramneekwig.com. And friends, let me tell you, I have over 550 videos on YouTube. So you can also check me out there. My YouTube address is youtube.com/yoga-guru-ramneek-wig. And I have a page on Facebook. The address is facebook.com/the miracles of pranayama and food therapy. Now friends, let me tell you here that if you are suffering from any disease, the right course for you to do is a disease-specific course on pranayama and food therapy. And if you want to become a teacher in pranayama, food therapy and meditation, then the right course for you to do is a teacher's training course on pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Friends, let me tell you here that pranayama, food therapy and meditation are a complete science in itself. Pranayama and food therapy is helpful in the treatment of several ailments like cancer, diabetes, asthma, heart problems, high blood pressure, liver disorders, kidney disorders, cardiovascular diseases, stroke, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, thyroid disorders, depression, bipolar disorders, obesity and several other problems. Meditation is a great stress buster and it is helpful in problems like high blood pressure, insomnia, cancer and many other problems. So friends, remember to make pranayama, food therapy and meditation a part of your life. Friends, I have written 14 books. These are the books written by me. The books which I have written are namely The Miracles of Pranayama, The Healing Power of Fruits, The Joy of Meditation, The Secrets of Good Health, The Secrets of Happiness, Believe in Being a Winner, Win Over Cancer, Happiness Lies in Your Attitude, Be Happy Every Day, Pranayama for Teenagers. I've written a couple of books in Hindi also, namely Pranayam Ke Chamatkar, Cancer Ko Maat and Pranayam Dwara Tanav Ko Maat. Friends, you can see for yourself that when I got cancer the first time, the cure rate was 90%, but I got the cancer back. When I got cancer the second time, I got a bone marrow transplant done in the United States, followed by radiotherapy. The doctors were sure I would never get the cancer back, but again I got it back. The third time when I got cancer, the cure rate was not even 1%. But now it's been over 12 years. I never got the cancer back. I am perfectly healthy. And this is because, first of all, because of Almighty God, and second, because of pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Even today, I do 1 hour of pranayama in the morning and 1 hour in the evening. I am very cautious of my eating habits, and I spend about half an hour of meditation every day. So friends, remember that it is very important to do your pranayamas correctly, because I see many people doing pranayamas but not doing correctly. Now these are the golden rules of pranayama, what you've got to remember. Number one, that you should always do abdominal breathing in pranayama. Second, you should always adhere to the ratios. Pranayama is a complete science in itself, and it is based on these 4 pillars, which are inhalation, internal retention, exhalation and external retention. And there's a fixed ratio between these 4 pillars, which is 1:4:2:4. That means if you inhale to the count of 4, you hold your breath to the count of 16, you exhale to the count of 8, and you're doing external retention to the count of 16. Now it depends that which pranayama are you doing, because in some pranayamas only 2 pillars are involved. Those are called simple inhalation exhalation pranayamas. In some, there are 3 pillars involved, which are called internal retention pranayamas, namely inhalation, internal retention, exhalation. In some, there are again 3 pillars involved called inhalation, exhalation and external retention. They are called external retention pranayamas. And in some, all 4 pillars are involved: inhalation, internal retention, exhalation and external retention. So it is very important for you to do the pranayamas related to the disease you're suffering from. And it is very important for you to adhere to the ratio patterns. Only then you can oxygenate your cells, because pranayama is an oxygen therapy. It oxygenates yourself. It oxygenates your cells. It rejuvenates them. So friends, again very important thing, that it is very important to do disease-specific pranayamas. If 4 patients come to me, one with cancer, one with asthma, one with diabetes and one with high BP, and if I tell each one of them 5 pranayamas to do, there might not be even one pranayama which is similar. So it is very important to do disease-specific pranayamas. Friends, again very important thing, remember the pressure locks. Pressure locks are the bandhas which we apply in pranayama. They are to increase the pressure at the cellular level. Now as a general rule, you got to remember that whenever you are doing internal retention of breath, you apply Jalandhar Bandh, which is the chin lock. And whenever you are doing external retention of breath, you apply the 3 bandhas, Jalandhar Bandh, Udyan Bandh and Mool Bandh. So friends, it is very important to apply the pressure locks in order to oxygenate your cells when you inhale. Again, very important thing, friends, that remember pranayama is a complete science in itself. So it is very important to do it correctly. If you will not do it correctly, you will never get the results. Another important point, friends, it is very important to keep the safety precautions in mind. Many times people are doing pranayama, but they are not keeping the safety precautions in mind. In my book titled The Miracles of Pranayama, I have given a separate chapter for safety precautions. So it's very important to keep the safety precautions in mind. As far as food therapy is concerned, friends, you need to remember that whatever food you eat, now you can see a couple of natural foodstuffs here. Whatever foods you eat, they're either good or bad for your system. So you got to get into a habit of eating natural food products and avoid eating processed food products. Avoid eating trans fats. Go for smart snacking rather than easy snacking. Like when you feel hungry and you want to eat in between meals, it would be a good idea to go for fruits, vegetables, salads, nuts, sprouts, seeds. They are smart snacking. Again, it's very important to eat those foodstuffs which would be helpful in the disease you're suffering from. So friends, if you're interested in doing any of these courses which are conducted by me, you're most welcome to get in touch with me directly. I'll again repeat my personal cell number for you, which is 09910178140. If you're calling from abroad, then you should dial +919910178140. Friends, I'll again repeat the courses which I do conduct. They are the following courses. All these courses are done by me, are conducted by me at my centers at GK1 and GK2 New Delhi, and they're also conducted by me over the Skype. That means if you're not even living in New Delhi, you can do these courses with me over the Skype. Friends, let me tell you here that I also have a residential center at New Delhi at GK1 New Delhi. So if you want to come for these courses and you do not have an accommodation at New Delhi, you're most welcome to come and stay at my residential center at GK1 New Delhi. We've got all AC rooms over there and it's a beautiful ambience. You'll really love coming to my centers. Now friends, I'll again repeat to you the courses which I take. The first course is a disease-specific course on pranayama and food therapy. This has got 11 classes and this is for people suffering from any particular ailment. The second is a basic course on pranayama and food therapy, which has got 9 classes. The third is an advanced course on pranayama and food therapy. Again, it's got 9 classes. The fourth is a basic course on meditation, which has got 6 classes. And the fifth is a teacher's training course on pranayama, food therapy and meditation, and this has got 30 classes. Once you complete a teacher's training course on pranayama, food therapy and meditation, you are given a certificate signed by me that now you have become a teacher in pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Now you can also go ahead and teach people pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Friends, let me tell you here that all these courses are also conducted over the Skype. So if you do not live in New Delhi, you can still do these courses with me over the Skype. Friends, let me tell you here one thing more, that I do send health tips to people on their WhatsApp number. So if you are interested in receiving free health tips from me, you're most welcome to feed my number in your mobile. My number is 09910178140. Feed it in your mobile and send a WhatsApp to me on this number mentioning that you would like to receive free health tips from me. These health tips are sent through WhatsApp broadcasting service. So it is necessary for the receiver to have my number in his or her telephone directory. Only then they shall be able to receive these free health tips. Because according to the WhatsApp broadcasting service, the receiver has to have the sender's number in his or her telephone directory. So feed my number in your telephone directory and send me a WhatsApp that you're interested in receiving free health tips. So friends, let me tell you here once again that pranayama, food therapy and meditation are a complete science in itself. And you can heal yourself and also you can heal others by getting the knowledge of pranayama, food therapy and meditation. I would be more than happy to help you. I would be more than happy to teach you pranayama, food therapy and meditation. Friends, another very important thing I would mention here, have a positive attitude towards life. No matter what happens in your life, never give up. Have full faith in God and full faith in yourself. When I got the cancer third time, the cure rate was not even 1%. The doctors in India told me, Mr. Wig, you just have 1 month to go. But now, friends, it's been over 12 years. I am perfectly healthy. And it's all because of Almighty God. Then pranayama, food therapy and meditation really helped me to heal myself. Okay friends, do take care, namaste and have a great day ahead.